Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get singles for all your Force of Will and other trading card games, as well as these amazing patrons. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the video. Hey there, Rulers. Welcome back to Ruler School. This is DMO73, bringing you the deck profile for the Stat Control Lucifer list that I had Josh play earlier this week. Super fun list. I'm really a huge fan of manipulating the stats of creatures, and so there was a lot of stuff that kind of made that very much possible and give you a win con in a very different way than like hard removal that Black normally has. So I wanted to build a deck kind of around that. So obviously Lucifer is our ruler here. We pretty much are just using him because of the Master Runes, and then if we need to, we can flip him over and make them discard 3 cards. Going into the Rune deck real fast. Ruined Earth for that kind of board-wide -4/-4. Power of Immortality because it makes some really interesting plays with Skeleton Hordes, as well as things like Asthma, Erythenia, and Oborozuki. There's like a lot of interesting things that you can do with this card, with those cards, and ways to sacrifice creatures and have things die and come back and manipulate those effects a lot. Jet Black Wings for another board wipe wide. Again, eventually you can go, if you don't do anything on turn 3, you can go during the upkeep Jet Black Wings, recover, then Ruined Earth them and do -10 to their board, which is, we used to pay 2,000 life to do -10 back when we played Final Battle, so we kind of have an access to a Final Battle again. Black Rosario, and then lastly a Tears of the Fallen, just to be able to round out the Rune deck. Stone-wise, we play 4 Magic Stones of the Dark Castle to get some mystery counters for the Glints of Insight, and then 3 each of the Undead and Corruption Stones. You probably could play 4 Corruption and 2 Undead. It's based on kind of what your sideboard might look like, but really it's just, there's no real reason to play basics, so we just want to play specials instead. So, going into the main deck for Skeleton Horde, simply an early game creature, especially to make use of with Oborozuki. You play the Skeleton Horde, swing, they let the 4 damage go through, then you play Oborozuki, sacrifice the Horde, get a Skeleton token, and now you have an 8/8 flyer. Skeleton Horde is also a great use of Oborozuki's sack effect to be able to give something -4/-4. And Oborozuki himself can destroy J-Rulers, which is great. For our Contract Demon, to have this kind of aggressive body that also gets us to be able to draw a card, it becomes eventually very easy to get to 2 runes revealed, so it's very easily a 2-drop 8/8 that we lose 4 life, sure, but then we draw a card off of it. Raid the Black Owl into 0, because if you're playing Darkness, there's no reason to not be playing this card. Absolutely solid card, and then you can bring it back really nicely with March of the Dead. Asthma, to have this nice little flyer. It's also a really excellent way to close out games, and even gives us a way to draw cards and helps us replenish our life a little bit once we get to enough runes revealed. Athenia, that kind of static quick cast, being able to do the board stat wipe. If you get to 4 runes revealed, eventually you can do -8/-8 to your opponent's board every single turn, especially if you have 2, and then you consider the fact that playing something with like a Power of the Undead, play an Athenia. I've done a turn where I've like had an Athenia on board, and I'll reduce the stats of everything by 8, with double tap, like top before upkeep, top after, give it Power of Immortality, swing in with Oborozuki, sacrifice the Athenia to kill whatever was still surviving, and then Athenia comes back in and they don't have any resonators, so then you force them to kill a stone. And then also, when they get the trigger of Athenia to send something to the grave, they also have to sacrifice something there too. So you just get to steal a lot of value off your opponent with this card, which is really interesting. Still playing a discard package of 4 Liquid Corruption and 3 Glint of Insight, pretty standard there. And then 3 March of the Dead, which is really nice to be able to bring those cards back, especially if you awaken it. You can grab like an Oborozuki and a Skeleton Horde, and then immediately sacrifice the Skeleton Horde to Oborozuki to make it an 8/8, and then have the 1/1 token. 3 Life Severing Blade and 4 Soul Prison in terms of hard removal, and then 2 Ruined Earth in the main to be able to combo off especially really nicely with Athenia. Eventually you can get to a point where your opponent probably doesn't have any stones left, based on how well you control the board state that way. But there you guys have it. Let me know what you guys think. It is definitely a different take on Lucifer, not running things like Faith in the Darkness or Joan d'Arc or whatever, but it is a lot of fun. Definitely recommend trying it out if you're a fan of controlling and manipulating and winning trades, kind of like I am. But that's it for now, so until next time, this is DMO73 saying class dismissed.